from these professors, what I learned was that there is no limit to discovery of a person or a child.
Right.
Yeah, teachers should be given opportunity to reflect on their best practices, where they can improve, they can rethink, they can recharge, they can learn, they can relearn, and they can unlearn. And every day try to tell yourself you are the best. That does not mean that you are best in comparison to others. You should be the best version of yourself.
Hello everyone, I'm your host Seema Choria and I bring to you another iconic figure from the world of academia. Today we have with us Mr. A.B. Sharma, Principal Birla Public School, Doha. Talking to him a little while earlier, a quote is there in my mind from the great Italian Galileo Galilei, astronomer, physicist, engineer, sometimes described as polymath. The sun, with all those planets revolving around and dependent on it, can still ripen a bunch of grapes as if it had nothing else in the universe to do. Education and educators have a similar philosophy. With so many minds to ripen, they hardly have anything else on their schema. They do what they have to do, selflessly and diligently. I have yet another personable guest with me today, and he is a warrior leader, one who cares for his students' progress and frets about his teachers' welfare. Come, let's hear some of his philosophies and ideologies. I am extremely delighted to welcome Mr. A.P. Sharma, Principal, Birla Public School, Doha. So it would be an absolutely delight to have you here and listen to your ideologies. So let us know first with sir, beginning with, so once upon a time, you were an orator and a master quizzer. You enjoyed your school days and this somehow motivated you to become a teacher, right? So we would like to know from you, do you believe a happy student is a far more open to learning than a child who doesn't feel included or appreciated?
That's very correct. And that's my philosophy. Basically, there had been an article in a very popular magazine, Mentor, and I was on the cover page and I mentioned that a happy school, happy teacher, and happy parent is a happy school altogether. And in the lesson planning, I have invented, I have discovered one very interesting thing to add to the lesson plan. And I'm getting it patented also, that any lesson plan, whenever you go inside the classroom, first of all, connect is very important. As soon as you go inside the classroom, you consider children like batteries. So there are few who are fully charged, there are few half charged, there are few who are not charged at all. So I said always do some connect activity, and my popular such kind of activities, our slogans are like, I ask children aha and they say oh ho, in same tune. If say I ask aha, they say oh ho ho. And that had been picked up by many schools, more than 800 schools in India also. There are a few other things like shakalaka, they say boom boom, I say shaka boom, they say laka boom. What happens in this process, and I do it with the teachers' workshops also. I have conducted more than 300 workshops. In last 1 year, I have conducted 70 webinars. And in the webinars also, teachers used to answer aha, then they will write oh ho or something like that. So what happens that now every battery is charged. Now every child is charged. Every child is happy, is able to receive whatever you want to say. He will forget all his mood swings, whatever happened outside the school, at home. That is the beginning. So you ask a beautiful question.
Absolutely, sir. You know, with happiness questioned, automatically the EQ and IQ question also rises. So this is a very good take for all the schools. And I love this concept of shakalaka boom boom, you know, automatically just building up that excitement in the children and making them feel rejuvenated from that, continuous routine. So going ahead, sir, I would like to know from you, what should schools and our government to do to make teaching a white collar job, given the fact, you know, that teachers pay, their structure, the quality of our teachers over here in India is not up to the mark that it should be, you know, because ultimately quality teachers means quality content delivery also. Howsoever good the curriculum is, it's all dependent on the teacher.
Very valid question. So if we will throw peanuts, then you will find monkeys will come. If you will throw something good, so first thing is there should be attractive salaries. So best of the students pick up teaching as a profession. So you had best of the students becoming teacher and preparing the next generation at the best. You know, in various Scandinavian countries and Japan and few more countries in East, all of them regard teachers as the nation builder. And the salaries of teachers are much, much higher. And respect and honor in society is too high. And particularly in Corona time, teachers have really, all the teachers, I must salute them, that they proved that they can deal with any problem. They not only they acclimatize, they help children acclimatizing with the new system and learning. And it was very horrible for teacher in the beginning when the parent is also watching what the teacher is teaching. And they came out with the flying colors. All of them proved that teaching is not an easy job. So it's good that in NEP, they are looking for such teachers who will do the integrated course of 4 years, 3 years, and then teachers will be trained technologically and all the way. But yes, the schools and the government should also tighten their regulations. Still in India, you know, there are few B.Ed colleges where you don't go, they will give you attendance, degree and everything. If such kind of teachers come with fraud, they will prepare the fraud generation. That must be stopped. And I'm quite sure in coming days, teachers will gain that respect. I have a feel. And by very simple idea of governments giving them the status of mentors, whatever a child becomes, engineer, doctor and all, who is the creator? Teacher is the creator. So obviously you ask the question that white collar and blue collar, this means status is to be raised, no doubt.
This is a very important message brought by Sir here that, you know, teachers are the creator of all other professions. It's high time that we recognize their efforts and treat them well. By treat them well, it's automatically relative even with their salaries. You know, how do you attract good quality teachers in this profession unless and until you pay them well? That is the reason that no one wants, you know, even when I ask in the group of thousands who wants their children to become teachers, not a single hand comes up. So, you know, that is the condition today in our country. And sadly, Sir has from overseas, Sir is here joining us today. And he has rightly pointed that this is the reason that why we are not able to have quality teacher and retain them.
I gave a satiric statement that should not be taken in the spirit that if you will throw peanuts, you will get monkeys only. That does not mean all the teachers have. Teachers are amazing teachers. This was a satire on the system.
Absolutely. So we truly understand the satire, and that's actually the reality here, you know, and that is why we see that the quality of teachers is deteriorating day by day. That's a very, you know, a mirror shown by you, I guess. So that is how it should be. And we should treat our teachers well. We should focus on their trainings and help them to, you know, groom further. And even the COVID has opened the doors for this. We have realized, the schools, the parents, the teachers, everyone, that without teachers, we cannot have the future ahead, howsoever technology comes in the classroom. And exactly. So going ahead, sir, you know, awards, galore, you are a legendary educationist to hold a post in an international education committee. You have established educational reforms and learning pedagogies that benefit all stakeholders. So which roles and responsibility did you handle as a founder member of the prestigious academic committee in Qatar?
See, very simple thing is that I believe in one thing. My vision is get empowered and get inspired. To inspire and empower others. If I will not empower myself, if I will not feel inspired, I cannot be a good leader and I cannot motivate, I cannot empower, I cannot inspire others. So my thinking and my philosophy is learning continuously. You will not believe, every year I do at least one MOOC course. This year also in January to March for 4 months, I completed one course from the Harvard University on edX MOOC on the leadership. So whatever I learned, that goes. Now that is the direction of my dreams, where I want to see my teachers to grow, my children to grow. But before that, I should grow. And in academic committee, Qatar, basically we are trying to inculcate that particular kind of skill, that particular kind of thinking. There should be thinking minds. There should be children and teachers who observe inference without having prejudices. If they don't have prejudices, then only they can learn. Otherwise, if they have prejudices, they can't learn. For example, I used to tell in various of my workshops that you clap. I will observe and I will ask you one question, or just rub your hands. So I did it for 1,000 principals in Delhi. So all of them rubbed hand, and I asked, how many times did you rub? None of them counted, because they thought that when this exercise was done during our student time, teacher asked the question, did you feel heat? So not necessarily that with one exercise, you have one observation. You can have many, even plenty of observation, not having prejudices. So here, through academic committee, we develop, the national identity of Qatar, means the country, as well as the global citizenry, and what they can learn from our past as human beings. Like here in Qatar Museum, they have come up with wonderful, amazing kind of museums, and various prototypes are available there. From there, we are trying to, through the ministry, how this can reach out to each and every student.
I think, sir, this is, something really very wonderful kind of thing which has been established there, a committee which, empowers everyone to be a better citizen, and that ultimately contributes towards nation building. So that is something very beautiful that can be adopted. And sir, another very important trait of a great leader, you mentioned that when I am inspired, I look forward to empower. Yes, everyone look forward for that inspiration, and empowering is what a true leader is. So when a leader looks forward to empower others to be in his role, that is where actual leadership takes place. So wonderful, sir, and congratulations.
Like if you want to charge your mobile, your power bank should have enough battery.
Right.
So principal is like power bank who has to charge many teachers. Teachers will further charge students and parents, and all that will go in the same flow. And you said I'm a legendary and all. I'm a simple person. Whatever awards were bestowed on me was the grace of God, and maybe best wishes of my students whom I love unconditionally.
Absolutely. I think, sir, that is the humbleness of you, and that is the ground to earth attitude of sir, which makes him a great leader who always look forward to teach others and guide others in his best capacity. So going forward in our conversation, sir, 3 decades, as an educator and multiple profiles and responsibility, you surely have an insight for wisdom. You surely have an insightful wisdom on learning, sir. So here, sir, we would like to ask you, who is that insightful colleague of yours, or a senior of yours, or any person who you look for your source of inspiration?
Yes, see, first of all, my grandfather was a principal. So that was the first inspiration. After that, when I was in Mayo College, I had my vice principal, Mr. Samar Bahaduri, who used to tell me, Mr. Sharma, just we have one life. And in that one life, whatever you want to do, dare to dream and dare to do. I became principal at the age of 36 only, founder principal of one of the school. And I started working on that. But later, when I was in APJ group, our chairman, Dr. Satyapal, was a legendary person. And he gave me very insightful things and insightful discussions. And then he gave me the opportunity to learn from William D. Cooney Academy, Netherlands. We had 4 years collaboration with them on design thinking. There was the first event in Asia where we called MIT US to have 5 days workshop in my school in Delhi, APJ. And there we prepared many prototypes. And from these professors, what I learned was that there is no limit to discovery of a person or a child. This means we need to emphasize on not only acquisition of knowledge, but application of knowledge. Till here, NCERT talks. I added one more thing. I said acquisition of knowledge, application of knowledge is good enough, but there should be creation of knowledge. So when I thought of creation of knowledge, some other time I would love to tell you about a few best practices which I started in my school, and that became very popular and very basic things. but which became very popular among parents and students. That is my spirit, that I emphasize that give child something challenging so he started thinking. Like I made a policy in my school that not a single question will come from those questions which are given after the lesson. Right. And whatever teacher has given them as homework, that question will also not come. So that thing, rote learning, stopped. Like teacher is telling these 2 lines. Now child will remember these 2 lines without understanding. But if that question is not coming, then he has to learn. So from cramming to learning is very important.
Absolutely, sir. And when we develop children to be thinkers, that is where reasoning and logical abilities develop. And that is all about 21st century kids, everywhere it is talking about future ready children, 21st century kids. So what is all this? It is about the ability of the child to think creatively, think innovatively, because going forward, education is all about how creative and innovative you are, what challenges you can see, and what changes you can bring out. Now everything is on.
Yeah, Seemaji, forget about 21st century. 21st century has, 1/5 has already passed. Absolutely. Now we should think about education 4.0. So true. It's the 4th revolution of education, which is going to come in 2025, which was expected in 2030, but will come in 2023.
So true. Totally agree with you, sir. It's high time that we must think that way now. Everything, is coming on your palm. So now the skills lies in how can we make more things more easy, in less clicks. So think creatively. If I require 4 clicks today, how can I reduce it to 2 clicks, 1 click? How can I enhance the user experiences? What other challenges can I solve? So that is what is required. And when you help the child, motivate the child to think, that is when this things open. Otherwise, we ourselves, the natural ability of creative thinking of a child, we ourselves destroy it by giving them the method of rote learning. Very point brought by sir that, it's not about acquisition or application. It's about creation of knowledge. A wonderful takeaway from sir's answer. On this note, we reached to the very interesting segment of the show, which is called rapid fire round. Sir, you have to answer in 1 word or 1 sentence. So get up, viewers. Some fun facts about sir will be revealed now. Here goes the first question. You spend your recreational time indulging in activities like?
Creating webinars.
Wonderful. All right. Suspense, thriller, romance, sci-fi. Your genre of books?
Suspense.
Suspense. All right. Recreational activities are, what does it mean to you?
Reading books.
And how does it help you?
To think beyond books.
Sorry?
The book will help you to think beyond books. Books help me to think beyond themselves.
Wonderful. Beautiful answer here. Your favorite TV show or online shows these days, if I may call upon OTT platforms?
Yeah, I like nowadays KBC.
KBC. All right. Last question in this section. If not an educator, what would be your second choice of vocation?
I would have been a cricket commentator or a news reader. I did journalism with the gold medal, and I did write for more than 20 years. In last 1-2 years also, I wrote around 10 to 15 articles in different newspapers.
Amazing, wonderful. It was really fun to know you in this segment. So we came to know today that sir is a multifaceted personality who reads, who writes, who can do commentary, who has done journalism. He has done journalism with a gold medal. So it was wonderful to know you in this segment, sir. This brings to me to the last question of the show, which is called Viewer's Choice Question. So here our viewers have this. Should schools compromise on recruiting quality teachers? When, given the fact that even schools management, we blame management about the payment, but they run out of funds at time. They have limited funds. So should school compromise on quality of teachers? What do you think?
So my answer is another question to you, considering that you are also part of public. Right. Would you like to be operated by a nurse who has not did a surgery before?
It's my life. Of course not.
Exactly. That's your life. And this is not the life of one child. This is life of this child. This is life of that child's child. This is life of child's wife. This is the life of all those who are related to this child. This means you are spoiling lives of many people. So there should not be any compromise with the quality of teachers. Rather, every year, now CBSE has done, NCERT has done, ministry has told there should be minimum 50 hours of orientation of these teachers. So they upgrade their knowledge, they upgrade their skills. Those days are gone when our history teachers used to teach from the notes they prepared for their MA examinations or BA examinations. Those days are gone. Every day, things are changing rapidly, things are changing fast, and technology is very much important. Technology can't replace teacher, but a techno-savvy teacher will replace the teacher who does not know about technology.
Absolutely, sir. Very beautifully explained by sir, and we can totally relate to this example given by the sir that you would not like to be operated by nurse ever. So when sir also had this point, that you're not educating a child, you're educating generations which are going to follow that child. So you spoil the future of one child, you spoil the future of the entire generation ahead. So we have to be very particular about the quality of teachers. And another thing which sir has shared here is, we all must focus on improving the quality of teachers. All the schools must focus on that. And that is where the success of the school lies ultimately.
CPD sessions, like continuous, there should be continuous sessions of CPDs.
Absolutely, sir. And when this is practiced, then quality will automatically improve. Right.
Yeah, teachers should be given opportunity to reflect on their best practices, where they can improve, they can rethink, they can recharge, they can learn, they can relearn, and they can unlearn.
And hopefully, sir, NEP looks very promising. It has, a lot of things which might, bring out the future of education that we are expecting here in India. Finally, after so many years, this much needed introspection is taking place. Now, let's see how well it is executed and how well can we plan here.
So NEP has come. That does not mean everything has changed. The most important thing is implementation in true spirit. I am the member in 2 of the states in India for NEP implementation, and we spent more than 400 to 500 hours to see that how teachers right from foundation are making a good foundation of a student and keeping a close vigil on that. But that is the spirit of the government, that is the spirit of the owners of a school, that should match with the vision of Dr. Kasturi Ranjan, Honorable. So then only things will happen. It is not like that. There are so many beautiful things, beautiful policies, but everything depends upon implementation with what spirit you will do. For example, you need good education. For that, you need good teachers. For that, you need good environment. For that, you need good investment in good B.Ed colleges. For that, you need to attract good teachers by paying them good salary. For that, there should be their promotions and their increment should be their performance based. So like corporate world, they also learn that if we are doing extra, we are getting extra.
So true, sir. Execution is the key and success for any policy or for any organization. So I think sir very rightly pointed that not only the school owners, it's the teachers and everyone who needs to take it in the right spirit and support the government in implementing this revolutionary new education policy, which is going to change the face of education. So this was Mr. A.P. Sharma with us. He had shared great insights on how the quality of teaching is directly attributed with the quality of teachers that we have. So it was wonderful talking to you, sir. Thank you for your valuable time. We are privileged to have you.
Same here, Seemaji. And I would like to compliment all the viewers and listeners that start thinking that you are the best. And every day try to tell yourself you are the best. That does not mean that you are best in comparison to others. You should be the best version of yourself. Try to improve every day, like iPhone 1, 2, 3, 4, 13 it has reached. You must also reach like Seemaji 1, 2, 3, 4 and Seemaji 25, 26.
Certainly, sir, so we all should, actually a very beautiful affirmation for ourselves to say daily that, you are the best and try to be a level ahead every day. So a beautiful thought with this beautiful thought, sir. We would like to thank you for your precious time. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Have a wonderful time and a great beginning of next moment.
Sure, sir.